McGarren Flack here, and good morning. Gonna go over some pots. And does it make a difference with how well they grow? Let's check out, see what's going on. This is my experimentation side of the house with fig trees. This is not all of them. I have about 50 or 60 varieties of fig trees that I have been working on, and I am in zone 8B, St. George, Utah. It is about 105 degrees today. Here's the thing, the soil, I'm gonna get into the soil really quick and a couple of other things to preface before I talk about the size of the pots. The soil that I use is a makeshift. It's basically peat moss, coco coir, maybe some coco coir, and perlite, a little bit of vermiculite. So if I were to say ratio, it'd be about 45% peat moss, 45% perlite, and 5 to 10% vermiculite or other additives, maybe even rice hulls. So some of those, it fluctuates around there, but the majority of it is just inert matter. So I can keep using it over and over and over again. That is the same, consistent throughout all of these. So the soil is consistent. Right now, when I get over temperatures of 90 degrees, I water them every single day, and they seem to be doing really good. Some of them are getting a little bit of burn, so I'm gonna need to water a little bit more often. So I see that. Might have to do twice a day. These are 5-gallon buckets right here for liquid, and these are 5-gallon buckets for pots. So there's a slight size difference, but generally the same. There's lots of videos out there that talk about the difference between the wet and the dry in terms of potting size. But just so you get a general understanding, these are 5-gallon buckets, and then this is a 4x4x9 pot. This is about the standard size. I started all of these starts were started in January or February, and we're now July 5th. So they've taken a while to be able to get started. Well, actually, correction, a couple of these are actually a year old, and they really had a hard time during the winter. So I don't count them as being older than what they actually are, because they all started over anyways. All right, so 4x4x9. This is what I use to be able to start my figs in. This is the biggest one, and when I go from this 4x4x9, let's look on the bottom there. There's a little bit of root system that's coming down to it, which is fine. Let's look at this pastelier. No roots on that one. Now there's little teeny roots, but this is a little bit too small to up pot. I don't want to take this and up pot it. I want to wait until the green portion is a little bit thicker and caliper, about the size of the actual trunk here. So about pencil thickness. Once it's about pencil thickness, I know it's getting enough nutrition and moisture to be able to build roots so that I can up pot it. This one, this is my Princessa. This one is nice. I mean, look at the size of that. It's about half the size of my finger. So this one definitely could be up potted. And when I fill the moisture in this one, the moisture is almost totally gone. It's like, it's so dry, so dry. Sad that it's so dry. All right, so I go from this 4x4x9, and with some of them, I went to a 1-gallon. So if I take a 1-gallon, because this is what I had available. This is a yellow long neck, getting a little bit burnt, okay? So that's not very good. But look at the size difference. I up potted this yellow long neck 3 weeks ago. So 3-week difference, and this yellow long neck was smaller than this Princessa when I up potted it. So you can see the size difference, not only in the leaves, but the amount of leaves. It just has more room to be able to grow. So 4x4 to 1-gallon, and then jumping up to the 5-gallon. If we look at the 5-gallon, this guy is just going gangbuster. It has multiple different shoots that it's starting off, and it has a lot more surface area. And the size of these leaves, I mean, it's bigger than my hand. Look at the size of that leaf. So whenever possible, if you have a plant or a fig tree that you really like, or even if you don't like, but you want it to grow pretty fast and big, I would recommend going from your small pot to a larger pot. It gives it room to be able to grow, and it really makes a difference in the rooting. So I'm going to water these, but there's one last thing that I want to show you, and that's my 5-gallon on the ones that I up potted a month and a half ago. Huge difference. These are about, if you take the size of the 5-gallon, so there's the 5-gallon, it's about double size. Now let's go to the other section of my orchard that have more potted 5-gallon pots. Here we are in the back orchard. See, my nice little orchard stuff. And I have a cover that I put here for these figs, because I don't know how much sun they actually need. When people say figs need full sun, yes, they do, but the full sun here in St. George, Utah is blistering. So I can keep them covered with this all day long, and it's almost like they get the gist of it. They understand that full sun is needed. So these potted varieties right here in the front, these are all first year in the white buckets. And if you look at the size of this, thank you, Nugget. If you look at the size of this thing, this is a sunrise fig, and it goes all the way to here. This is about 4 feet high, and it's in a 5-gallon bucket. There's a Castellihana preta. I don't even know how to pronounce that. There's the NV1, but look at the size of these things. These leaves are huge. Huge. Dude, it's crazy. So 5-gallon bucket, these were up potted maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. But if you give them the size that they need, they will fill it. It is crazy how much these guys will fill it. I don't have any fruit yet. Some of these are starting to set fruit, and this is their first year. The ones that I have on the row that's in the back, I up potted those to 5-gallon also this spring, and they are going gangbuster. And I have some Brava crops, which is great. Look at that. If I get to eat them. Who knows, maybe I won't be able to eat them, but I'm still really excited for them. So maybe what I need to do is take this cover off and just allow the full sun to hit these things. Some of them are getting sunburned, like over here. These are getting burned and just curling up and dying. I mean, that's sad, because these on the side here are getting full sun. These are all getting full sun on the back here. All of these are shaded most of the day. And there's the hibiscus. Hi, hibiscus. But this is pretty well covered to protect them so that they don't die with our heat waves. This next year, after they're more established, I'm not going to have them covered. But when you have them in the buckets in this heat, I would recommend covering them, because it decreases the amount of heat that's surrounding the buckets, and it could just fry the roots. So what I did is I tunneled here just a little bit, and I put the 5-gallon buckets in the nice little, like a berm almost, so that they are in the ground a little bit more. And then I shoveled, anyways, put some of the soil up against the side of it so that not all of it is totally exposed. All right, going back over to this side, just to give you an update. This is a Black Madeira KK in a 15-gallon. Look at the size of that. And this, yes, look at that growth. So this guy was really struggling until I put it in a 15-gallon, and now it's just going gangbuster. I water these things every day. Some of them, I think twice a day, every other day, and So they're getting enough water, but going up to a 15-gallon has really helped this one grow a lot more versus the others. So let me give you a quick little summary. If you are in a small pot, like a 1-gallon, wait until it's pencil thickness to up pot into a 5-gallon. The bigger you go, the more growth you're actually going to get out of the fig tree, in my experience. And make sure that you have good draining soil. Even in the desert, yeah, you have to water a little bit more, but it's lighter to be able to carry around when you have it mobile versus having it full of sand or clay. Those make it a little bit hard to move around and make mobile. So good draining soil, up pot as fast as you possibly can to get the maximized amount of growth. Feed them. So if you do have inert material, make sure that you're fertilizing them. I use organic fertilizer in there and even some fish emulsion. And then make sure that you're watering them enough. I was underwatering everything and they were all dying, and now I'm a total supporter of overwatering. Seems to work better for these fig trees than underwatering. And then if you look at the top here, these are ones that I put in the ground. These are 2-year-old. They were in a 1-gallon bucket and I planted them this spring, and now look at them. They're just going gangbuster. Nice and big. So, and I have fruit on almost all of those figs. The Olympian is having a hard time. The Olympian is the small one, right there in the middle. Up pot or plant in the ground as soon as you possibly can, and you should be good. All right, I hope this information was beneficial, and have a stellar day.